late night, they ain't getting no rest. Work so hard, people think I'm obsessed. Cream at the crop, won't settle for no less. Headed to the top, remain so focused. Yeah, gorilla of the jungle, I've been beating on my chest. I learned from the struggle, it was all just a test.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Data Driven Value, where we show you the tools and teach you the skills to help you take your financial freedom into your own hands. So today we're going to talk about a pretty hot topic right now. We're going to talk about altcoins, Bitcoin dominance, alt season, what we might expect in kind of the near term, and some signals that I'm looking for me to really be confident that we're going to get a sustained alt season. So I always talk about waiting for confirmation on the charts. I'm going to show you on these charts as well, show you some prior examples and what I'm looking at for signals to let me know that it might be upcoming alt season and maybe time to start taking positions. That being said, we'll just jump right into the charts. So starting off on Bitcoin dominance here, obviously Bitcoin dominance going to be the deciding factor if altcoins can really go on to have that alt season. So we see here in the prior cycle, we saw the 618 Fibonacci resistance here acting as the first peak for that top here coming in September 2nd, 2019. We did see this long kind of downtrend here where we found support, and then we're able to go back up. We put in a higher high, actually, just a slightly higher high. So that's kind of something I'm paying attention to currently here. We also did see when we put in that higher high, we have a bearish divergence here. So that's a higher high of the price action here, and it's a lower high of this RSI indicator right here. So that's signaling that we're likely due for an upcoming trend change. We don't know exactly when it's going to happen for sure, but we look down here and we see our DMI indicator really losing strength, coming back towards this DMI minus line and kind of towards the 80x line. So we saw bearish divergence signaling likely upcoming weakness or trend reversal. We saw our RSI looking pretty toppy. We saw our MACD looking pretty toppy, and we saw our DMI also looking toppy. So here we can kind of assume that once we have this downtrend structure that we're likely going to just continue breaking down and the macro highs are in. And then eventually we did find our low here around May 17th, 2021. So I'll flip over to total 3 because I kind of want to show you last cycle here. We had our bull market here and then our long drawn out bear market phase right through here. So I marked September 2nd. If you were to buy the first peak, let's say you went all in on altcoins on the first peak of Bitcoin dominance, you actually although you got a little bit of relief here, you actually ultimately bled another 50% plus down to these lows right here where the actual cycle lows ended up. That's why I say wait for confirmation. This is still a technical downtrend. You don't buy into it. We wait for this confirmation of trend reversal, so higher highs, higher lows. You can see basically this all lines up right through the same timing as our dominance here. You see first top in September 2nd, second top in August 31st, and then so same thing over here. We see August 31st. That actually lines up exactly where I would enter the market at this point. So we obviously see here we've gotten above our 50-day and 200-day moving averages, so that's another signal of an uptrend. We've broken our lower low structure, sorry. So we see that our higher low, higher high, higher low, 3 data points. We're above our 200-day, we're above our 50-day, and our momentum indicators are ideally supporting that thesis as well. So we take a look here, obviously very oversold where the low came in. You do see where we actually went from here. You know, we're not oversold anymore. So it's already started that move. These are lagging indicators. So lots of the times the actual bottoms aren't going to perfectly line up with some of these levels here, because obviously we came here and tagged this level here and we bled even lower, still coming down, but it does give you an idea of when it is an oversold nature here. And then we see we had our trend structure reversal. We got in right here confirming, and then we rode that trend up. You see that it went up 1,000% to this first high, and then it was actually 1,100% to the second high. But that being said, nobody really predicted this peak because a lot of the cycle top indicators weren't flashing, and a lot of the momentum indicators weren't flashing in kind of the same fashion that they did during prior cycle tops. So even if you just nailed this move, that's still a 10x return. So really good move nonetheless. And we do see when we flip over to dominance, where it bottomed actually lines up almost perfectly with the top of this first rally here. So we'll want to pay attention to Bitcoin dominance dominance, as well as how Total 3 kind of reacts. We do see that there is, in the past, we put in that top, but dominance had to go through this downward consolidation correction phase. It did get that second leg up to put in, this is a higher high slightly, but put in another high, so it's either going to match, be a lower high, or slightly higher high. We're not sure really until it happens, but we do see bearish divergence again, signaling kind of that likely downwards price action. And then when it came in, put in that high, it just bled here, and then ultimately into this sideways consolidation phase before going up on our next cycle run here, starting. So right here, I also marked where the trend changed again. So we take a look, if I zoom in, we do see right here, we got a higher low, a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. That's sufficient enough for me to enter. We're above we have the 50-day as support, we're above the 200-day, and then we're able to ride that up to the cycle highs, which the target was this 618 to 786 Fibonacci. So we did see that play out here. We've got our bearish divergence similar to what we saw over here. So the difference is we saw this bearish divergence kind of more on a slightly higher high scenario, and then here it's been a little bit more drawn out, so it's kind of from this peak back here, but can still signal that we're due for that correction. It doesn't have to play out exactly like last cycle. We do see when we came over here, the directional movement index losing steam right here, curling over, heading back towards the ADX and the DMI minus line. So that was another signal that we were losing momentum. We had our bearish divergence, our RSI looks toppy, our MACD looks toppy. So those are my signals. And then look at all this increase in selling pressure. So we had an uptick in selling pressure as well. Again, that's a signal that we're losing steam, we're losing momentum, and we might be due for that correction. So we want to pay attention over here. Obviously, we see good buying pressure through here still. We haven't seen that uptick in volume to really kind of signal, or the uptick in selling volume to really signal that the top is definitively in. We'll take a look at the lower time frame, but kind of we're just going to point to the similarities. You know, the RSI looked, or the MACD and RSI looking a little toppy. We're losing momentum on our DMI indicator right here. So we'll zoom into the lower time frame and see if we can get a better idea. If we take a look at our 4 hour, so very low time frame, looking here, this is a technical downtrend, as you guys know, lower highs, lower lows. So we will see if we can reverse this to the upside and maybe put in that similar cycle top up here. That's going to really hurt a lot of altcoins. So we want to be sure, we want to make sure we're getting confirmation, at least on the daily chart is the minimum here. So at least 3 data points, so higher, lower highs, lower lows on the daily chart. Still haven't seen that yet. What we're looking for is something like this, come up, lower high, lower low, and lower high, and that is definitely sufficient to consider Bitcoin dominance topped for the cycle and likely to continue down from there. So it's just something we're going to continue watching dominance, make sure that the price action supports our thesis. If dominance resumes its uptrend, then all bets are off. Alts are just going to have to sit back and wait for dominance to break down. Flipping over to Ethereum Bitcoin, I want to look at a few different time frames to show you. So we're going to start on the monthly chart here, looking back at the prior cycle. So really, the monthly RSI entered this oversold area right down here just once in the prior cycle in the bear market. And you can see that lines up with this kind of sideways consolidation here. So we saw about a 27% range where the price was just bouncing here, kind of up and down over the period of almost 4 months. So everyone who's telling you that it's going to be a V-shaped recovery and we're going to go straight up to new highs, history would tell you that doesn't happen. I also argue that rarely ever do you get a V-shaped recovery without retesting important levels of support. So we've come back down, we're come down to this level of support right here. So very strong support from the prior cycle. It's actually what we retested. That was our entry from the prior cycle. So that uptrend structure, higher high, higher low, higher high, entering on this one here, holding it as support this cycle. So good to see. But if we do encounter something similar to last cycle where we get that kind of 25% range of consolidation, we still could be looking at, like a little bit of time for us to actually put in that proper bottom structure and reverse. I don't see it being a V-shaped recovery personally, but you never know. We could get some crazy bullish news on Ethereum and see a big pop and then put in that uptrend structure a lot sooner. So again, we just follow the charts, look for confirmation. We are stuck under this downsloping trend line, so no signs of trend reversal yet, but we are at high time frame support. And then over here, look at this uptick in volume during our consolidation phase. We're not seeing that right now, so no volume coming in. We want to see a volume uptick. We want to see our price structure change to the uptrend, and then we want our momentum indicators to support that thesis as well. So flipping over, we take a look at the weekly now. So we're just moving down the time frames, looking at prior comparisons as well. Right here, right through there, we saw the first low, deeply oversold on the RSI. We got our bullish cross, and then we see that by the time we actually broke this downtrend structure and got into the uptrend structure, we were already kind of neutral RSI. So just focusing solely on one indicator isn't going to be the best to help you out here, because you might think, oh, we're up here, it's oversold, that's the top there, we're going to go into new lows, but we look for confluence across other indicators here. So our MACD also heavily oversold throughout this bear market. We did get our bullish cross. If we look over here, right where this MACD bottomed out right here, we're at similar levels right now, so that's interesting to note. Same thing over here, this little mini bottom right here, that's also where that MACD coincided with. We do see our DMI here kind of with that bearish, continued bearish price action here, breaking below the ADX. Then we see right through here, basically doing some work, trying to get above and hold it. You see right through there, getting above that ADX and the DMI minus line, and then that kind of signals the start of our uptrend right through here. So we're looking here, we've got a similar setup where our DMI plus line has crossed below our ADX line. So to me, it looks like we're just finishing this downwards move and then coming into our sideways consolidation phase, similar to last cycle. That's what I see here, and we want to see our DMI plus converging with the DMI minus, supported by our ADX line preferably. So weekly looks all right. We do still need to see volume coming in. No confirmation of trend reversal yet. Flipping to the daily, so getting even further down here, we do see a bullish divergence right here. So we've got lower lows on the price action, and we've got higher lows on our RSI here. So bullish divergence on ETH Bitcoin on the low time frame. We've got a bearish divergence on Bitcoin dominance. But one thing I want to keep in mind is that we still don't have that proper down or uptrend structure yet. We have broken these highs, so we'll see if Ethereum can really put in that work to kind of build that out. But also we do recognize there is this large wick here that we wicked down to. So if we were to experience a normal Fibonacci retracement back down to those levels, then we lose that potential to maintain the uptrend structure, and we just need to put in more work before we're able to actually reverse. Alternatively, we could see something play out where we get a breakout move, breakout here, we take out all those highs, we put in the higher lows, and then we have confirmation right like around here or here is going to be really good confirmation. You know, this is going to be better confirmation up here, and then we're looking to enter right there. We want to make sure we want to see our moving averages come down, act as support. So as long as we're under the 50-day and the 200-day moving averages, these two right here, it is considered a technical downtrend. So we need to first regain that 50-day, and then we need to regain our 200-day. We want to make sure we have that uptrend structure, and we want to make sure that our indicators are supporting that. So the indicators actually look pretty good right now to get a bit more of a push up here, but we will obviously keep an eye on all the different time frames. If this starts to break down, then we will have to kind of adjust our plan as we see fit. For now, we let it play out, we let it confirm on the charts, and then we take our entries once we have confirmation, not getting too crazy or too aggressive too soon. So flipping over to ETH USD, taking a look at this, similar to prior, or looking at the last cycle as well. well. We did see it top kind of the first RSI right here. So that's why you don't focus solely on just one indicator, because if you sold here because you thought that the RSI topped, you missed out on like the rest of the run here. These are lagging indicators. They just give us a sense of heavy times of over exhaustion and then times of good value. So following through here, looking at all of our different indicators, yeah, we want to see that DMI continuing to go up. So that looks like a decent little setup here, kind of squeezing together, and we want to see the positive line get above the orange line, supported by the red line, similar to what we saw over here, and then that's what caused this explosive move up, or what kind of supported that move. Our MACD looks like it could come down a little bit more before we get that bullish cross. RSI curling back up. So looking pretty good from the weekly chart for Ethereum USD. We can flip over to the daily chart to get a slightly better idea of what's going on in the near time frame. So also bullish cross, we both got a bullish cross, and this looks like it's going to be a good setup for the DMI. So I do expect kind of, we could come up, test this level up here, this 200, and then come retest it, put in those higher lows, higher highs. That's what I want to see. Nice little volume candle here, but I want to see more volume follow through right over here, and then we'll flip over to the 4 hour quickly to see if we can get a better idea. So we're just stuck in this wedge. We're stacked under most of these moving averages right here. It looks like we're just rejecting back into the wedge, so nothing too crazy. If we lose this low rate here, 2600, then it's just more consolidating that needs to do. So nothing too actionable in my opinions. We don't have definitive confirmation of an uptrend either on ETH Bitcoin, ETH US dollar, and we don't have that. So just waiting for that. Flipping over to others dominance. So this is the dominance of the altcoin market, pretty much apart from the top, some of the top altcoins here. Do see prior bear market, I look at this uptrend trending line right through here, acting as support all through here, support here, support here, support here, and support here. So we have broken below it, but we're at this high time frame support level as well. So we'll see if this is able to hold. We did have our kind of RSI come down into that oversold nature here, but by the time we get into our uptrend structure, so I'll zoom in right here, right through here. So downtrend structure reverses higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. So because this one was a slightly higher high than this peak here, I just waited for that additional confirmation and then entering there. You do see the RSI coming back. It's neutral right here, but we did go through that deep oversold territory, so it's still a good position. And then you saw that others dominance moved up 845% from that entry. So also over here, similar thing, we see the RSI come down into that oversold territory, bounce from the neutral territory, and finish its run up 223%, supported by that DMI and the MACD as well. So coming over here, and again down to that 30 RSI oversold level. We also saw it over here, but we are just looking to see kind of that breakout, back test, hold that moving average as that higher low to continue on. But we don't, again, have that uptrend structure that we had over here yet, so we need to see that form before we get too aggressive here. We can flip into the daily chart, see if we get another good idea of what's going on. So ultimately, we're stuck in this downtrend. We did break below this support line here, acting as prior support. So now this is just a bear flag. It's not looking amazing for others dominance right here. Best case scenario, this low holds, and then we're able to put in a higher high, higher low, and then we might be able to look at getting a bit of an attempt at this here. But we are stuck underneath our bull market support band, and we are stuck underneath our Lux Algo order blocks here. Same thing, we're stuck under the point of control in terms of our VRVP. So a lot of resistance above others dominance right now. So we really need Ethereum to show that strength, to give alts the ability to break out and really go on an outperformance run for an alt season. Flipping over to total 3, or back to total 3, and I'll show you this cycle right here. Another one that I'm looking at, we do have that bearish divergence on total 3, and we see our RSI topped here, bearish cross, RSI topped, bearish cross, and our DMI looks like it might be losing that level here. So this kind of signals to me that we're likely due for a bit more of a correction. So we'll see. We can either come back to these levels down here, these Fibonacci supports. If we flip to our very low time frame, get another better idea of what's going on. So we see just, yeah, in this consolidation, kind of just a bit of a range here. We will just mark this and this, all right. But yeah, so resistance right through here. We are kind of, we were trying to reverse that structure, so we did manage to do it. We're holding it for now. We want to be able to break these highs, hold it, come back, retest them. But again, wait for confirmation on the daily chart here. If we experience a normal Fibonacci retracement back to the 618 or 786 down here, that wrecks that structure, and we just need to do more work. So the entire point of this video, essentially, you're not getting too crazy. Every time that you see Ethereum bounce a little bit, it doesn't mean that the bottom is definitely in and that we're going to go on a V-shaped recovery to the upside. What we want to see is we want to see that bottom structure, that trend reversal, and we want to see it supported across our other factors that we look at. So we want to see bullish price action. That it comes in patterns, that comes in trends. We want to see bullish candlestick patterns, ideally at key levels of support. We want to see the price reacting positively from key levels of support, and we want our momentum indicators to support that thesis going forward. So for now, I still remain in the thoughts that I'm kind of in no man's land or sitting on my hands type thing. I'm going to let the charts kind of play out, wait for that uptrend structure before I really start to get aggressive. I might take some swing trades here and there, but they're going to be a lot riskier because we don't have the confirmation of trend. We could easily just break down, nobody can really predict what's going to happen in the world. I basically think we're good economic news away from a pump, and we're bad economic news away from a major dump. So it's anyone's guess which one we get first. I'm just not going to invest based on that. I just let the charts tell me when it's likely that we're going to go into that uptrend, and then I'm going to position myself in that trend. So we'll continue following all these different metrics, but it's just kind of to show you different things I'm looking at and how I kind of compare them to the prior cycles to see if we can get a better idea if when alt season might be coming and the signals to look for, as well as just prior examples from the past cycles. So we obviously did see last cycle, it took a while for Bitcoin dominance really to durably top. So if we see the same thing this cycle, we could be due for 3-4 months of consolidation, and it will, it's going to be tough. A lot of people might think that the cycle is just over. We will just follow the charts. If the charts start to break down and show weakness, then we will adjust our strategy as we see fit. Otherwise, just continuing looking at the charts every day, making sure that the data supports our thesis and that all of our checklists are checked. So we've got our price action ideally above the 200-day and the 50-day moving average. We're above our bull market support band. We've got our momentum indicators supporting our thesis, and we've got our uptrend price action. So market structure is looking favorable. And again, look for that volume increase as well, signaling that buyers are really stepping in to kind of give us an additional confirmation that the lows might be in. So until then, we'll just continue following these charts. I'll keep you guys updated as best as I can, and I'll see you guys in the next one.